Well, hello everybody, and it's very exciting today because we're going to formalize a hypothesis I put forth a couple videos ago, and I'm going to supply so much evidence, just so much evidence proving this hypothesis. Basically, that these two huge mounds which make up the Sphinx were a huge massive set of horns facing the north, facing the south. Obviously not suitable for sunrise and sunset, but perfect for the moon, which is just what we want. The moon between the horns, unbelievable. That's what we want, because before the sun was worshipped, the sun is thought to be an Indo-European kind of masculine deity. There was, of course, lunar worship. Lunar worship is the same as goddess worship. It's the same as the bull worship. The bull and the woman were one and the same in ancient times. And you say, "Oh, I don't believe you, Charles. I just don't believe you. The bull and the woman were the same." Of course they were the same. This is pre-dynastic Egypt. This little figurine here, Naqada period, bull's horns. Bull was worshipped throughout Eurasia. The bull was the #1 deity in Egypt as well. The bull was the #1 deity. Just cast your eyes on the 3100 BC King Nama tablet. Absolutely extraordinary, because we have basically a bull is up here in heaven looking down on everything. And actually I have to say I've just discovered something, because this is similar to a hierarchy in the sky. You have bull up in heaven, king up in heaven, the name of the king, so maybe the king's dead, and then you have this layer. Then you have Middle Earth, the humans, they're war, chopping the heads off, chopping the limbs off, the hands, raising the standards of war in 3100 BC. You have the mythological animals, and then you have basically hell down below. Look, someone's being punished by the bull. It's weird. Here we have people being punished. They show the pharaohs walking over his enemies. I think these people are in hell. That's Middle Earth. And that's heaven. Once again, the pharaoh is almighty. The pharaoh is the god king, sacred monarchy here in 3100 BC. I think that's what's going on. So that's a new interpretation of that. And you say, well, hang on a sec. Two bull horns sticking out of the Sphinx. You cannot be serious. I can't be serious. The Sphinx, this is just, this is so interesting. You just have these sort of pillars here, which is just unbelievable. Just rounded pillars. What's going on? It's so weird. Now, I said that the Sphinx head was attached. That may or may not be so. I think it was so, because that would explain why it's out of proportion. It would explain why it's a different color. It would explain why it doesn't fit. But if you look at the body, I think before the head, it's so different. I think it was a bull's horns. It was a type of temple. It's facing east-west, so the doors would be north-south, the doors which have just been revealed in previous videos. And I want you to look at this body here, this body of the Sphinx. What do you think of this body? Does this strike you as something you've seen before? It strikes me as something I've seen before, and I was thinking, what the hell is it? What is it? Aha. Yeah. So I want to show you something else. Now, people actually cannot agree whether or not that's been shaped by man, but most people say yes, that has been shaped by man. This is Glastonbury Tor. It's about, I would say, 3000 BC, 3500 BC even. So we could be looking at something very old, very old here. It's a hill that's been shaped by man. Basically, from the top it looks like a vulva, so it is the mother goddess. It's the Earth Mother. And it's also a pregnancy of the earth, because it's a mound. And this is why, of course, they put a church on top. The Vatican ordered all pagan, during the Dark Ages, the Vatican said all pagan monuments must have a church placed next to them. Don't destroy the monument, just put the church next to them, so that people see the new way of worship. In some cases they did destroy them, of course. People are a bit fanatical. Now, why are bull's horns? Well, bulls were worshipped all around the world. This is Çatalhöyük, 7000 BC in Turkey. It's a type of temple, because you would walk in here and it's a house or a temple or it's something weird, and straight away, so this would be the household god's shrine perhaps, or another shrine here. It's a little bit too religious for me to be a house. I think it's definitely a type of temple. You would go and pray to the Earth Mother here. That's possibly the Earth Mother. Not sure. Bit weird. It's a bit weird. It's a bit too old. I mean, damn, this is almost 10,000 years old. Where I got the horns for the thumbnail, from the very megalithic, bizarre-looking palace at Knossos in Crete. And the horns looked over the entire palace. Just amazing. They were called the Horns of Consecration by Arthur Evans. Very megalithic looking place, so of great antiquity indeed. It's like the Incas, you got rubble and you got really good stones. It's a bit weird. Now, so there's pedigree of horn temples worldwide. So I think what we're looking at here is a stepped, eroded structure similar to a pyramid, similar to Glastonbury Tall. What would it have housed? I'll tell you what it would have housed. It would have housed, quite basically, the Ark of the Covenant. Look at the Ark of the Covenant, what do you see? It's basically a box with a bull's horns. And I think over time, when the bull cult was destroyed, they were swapped over to a cow's horns, to a bull's horns. And it's basically a long box with the horns. It's the same, I think, as what this would have been, just by looking at the evidence. And of course, this was carried into battle. This was carried into battle. And how many arks were there? Thousands. There were thousands of arks. If Graham Hancock didn't find any arks, but there were thousands of them. Every city had one. Every tribe had one, which they carried into battle throughout the Near East. There were lots of these things going around, but all based on an ancient legend of something of strange technology. And we see the horn cult everywhere. There we go, Scotland basically, stones of Stens or Stannis, and they've shaped them like horns, quite amazing. Avebury, it's the same thing. So you go to Avebury, it's a beautiful place. All the stones are oblique, weird, strange. By the way, they're the colour of the moon. The colour of the moon, which is quite interesting. Until you get to the cove, the centre of Avebury, and what you have is basically one of these, and it had a pair, another one, and there were bull's horns at the centre of Avebury. They dug here, they found ox horns! Guys, horns were worshipped everywhere. They were supremely important. The bull cult, the moon cult, the goddess cult, it was all the one. So here you have a temple basically facing the North Stars, but it could have also allowed for lunar worship, lunar setting, lunar rising, but not solar rising, not solar setting, because it's facing north and south. It's in totally the wrong direction. Guys, I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video. Tell me what you think about this theory of the Sphinx being possibly a way, way, way older structure, over 10,000 years before Sphinx. Certainly. If you're looking at Çatalhöyük, 9000 BC, heck guys, it's even, hey, you know what, I've got more pictures. The bull is even here, 9000 BC, so that proves the date. It's even older, possibly in 10,000 years old. The bull as the supreme character, then a dog, and then a bird over at Göbekli Tepe. Once again, guys, thanks very much.